Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm your host, Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. Let's get to it. The late, great Kobe Bryant said, when you're on a championship team, it's not always kumbaya and everybody doesn't get along all the time. You have to be prepared to have those uncomfortable conversations because you're going to run into a team that has a leader that's not afraid to have that conversation, and you're going to lose. The problem that we're having in Memphis is exactly that. Their leader. When you have a leader, you have an identity. And when you have an identity, everybody falls in line. The Memphis Grizzlies, their leader needs to get better at that. And the first way of getting better as a leader is having some humility about you and understanding what it takes to lead men. And you don't lead men being selfish. For example, I'm fine in the West. There's a parade inside my city. I'm fine, my city. It's about the group and what we need to do to get better. And what can I do as a leader to ensure that we get better? What I have to do as a leader is I have to do it by showing it. Now, don't get me wrong. Leaders lead in different ways. There are leaders who lead with iron fists. There are quiet leaders like Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan didn't do a lot of yapping. Tim Duncan went and showed it to you. James doesn't do a lot of yapping. But when James does talk, it's encouraging. And he does have to put down the iron fist from time to time because that's just part of it. Jordan ruled with an iron fist. Magic was also forceful, but he was also encouraging. When you are a leader, your team follows you. That's what being a leader is about. And their confidence is in you. And when you don't deliver, their confidence in you is shattered. It's wrecked because we're putting all our trust in you. That's why we're following you. You're the leader. And the Memphis Grizzlies, as of right now, are a team of a bunch of yappers and tough talkers who deliver false promises. And the reason why they do that is because the other stuff isn't there. They think that they could just show up. They think they can just show up against a team, a veteran team like the Los Angeles Lakers, a championship team like the Los Angeles Lakers. And because they're young, they're boisterous, they're loud, that's going to be enough. That's not going to be enough. It's not. Dillon Brooks yapping the way he does. Well, he gets that from his leader. This is the same guy who, for the series, shot 31% from the floor and 25% on the long ball. How I feel about Dillon Brooks is the same way I feel about Isaac Okoro in Cleveland. I think that they need to upgrade that position. We just finished year 6 with Dillon Brooks. You've probably seen all of it. In terms of his game, I don't think that there's much more there. You've probably seen, this is probably who this guy is. Now, I don't mean this season, because last year was season 5, and if anybody knows me, they know that I stand on, by year 5, this is probably who this guy is. And I think Dillon Brooks is a 15 to 17 a game guy, a solid defender. But if you're trying to win the NBA championship, you need more production out of that position. And he's not giving it to you. Because if you just look at the numbers, you think, okay, well, I'm getting 17 and 6 from this position. Not when it matters the most. Not when it matters the most. And to be able to talk him out of his game, which is what happened. He talked himself out of his own game. It wasn't the other team talking him out of his game. He talked himself out of his own game. And again, that's a reflection of leadership. Desmond Bain telling everybody that I guarantee that we're coming back here for Game 7. Well, first of all, when a player has been in the league long enough, he's developed a track record where he can make those kind of claims because we've seen him perform in the playoffs to a level that is believable. Desmond Bane hasn't done that. He hasn't performed at a level in the playoffs where we can go, okay, I believe that. I think that they have a chance in this game. Which they didn't. Which they did not. I didn't even, and I have a confession to make to you guys. I didn't even watch the second half of the game. And it wasn't because I felt like the Lakers were that good. I'm out on Memphis. I'm out on Memphis. I don't need to see anymore. Again, this is a team of a bunch of tough talkers who don't deliver on promises. And the reason why they don't deliver on the stuff that they claim is because the work isn't there. The work is not there. They expect to just show up and do it. And a lot of that is about being young. And this is a great example for them in humility that they can take. This is a great opportunity for them to be able to take some humility from this and go, okay, we got a lot of work to do. That tough talk about I'm fine in the West and I'm only worried about the Boston Celtics. This right here is obvious. We aren't close to winning. We aren't close. We have a lot of work to do. I particularly have a lot of work to do. And the one thing that I have to start with is being a better leader. And what you can do is you can start by talking to the dude that you played against. Getting some tutelage from him. You know, what does it take to be a great leader? What can I do? What can I do, LeBron, to be a better leader? How can you help me become a better leader? And be able to put the work in to do that. Because as of right now, this Memphis Grizzlies team is smoke and mirrors. That's all they are. Smoke and mirrors. They got dominated in the paint. They got dominated on the perimeter. Whatever their game plan was, it didn't involve D'Angelo Russell going for 31. They did not prepare for that. They didn't. And he was actually due for a good game. He was actually due for a really good game. They did not prepare for that. Anthony Davis dominated them. They dominated in transition. On the backboard. The more I watch Anthony Davis, I think to myself, man, if he could stay healthy, I still think that he's a top 5 player in the game. Austin Reeves in transition. Stop and pop. Putting so much pressure on the defense like he did. How they just dominated the backboard. How Anthony Davis dominated in the paint. Memphis clearly looked like they were overmatched. They didn't look like a team that was prepared to win. They didn't even look like a team that was prepared to play, to be honest with you. Which would explain the result. And they have a lot of work to do in this offseason. A lot of work. And since we're on the subject of work, the Sacramento Kings came to work last night. They walked in that building with the intent of fighting. Whatever's going to happen in here, it's not going to be because we didn't fight. We are not rolling over. Absolutely not. They are going to get our best shot. And for the first time, watching Golden State, they didn't look like they were prepared for that fight. They looked like a team who thought the other team was going to... We got these guys. They looked like a team who thought the other team was going to lay down. We got them. We got them. We got what we came for, which was Game 5. And we proved that we can win in their building. We got one of the best home records in the league. They aren't battle tested the way we are. So there's no reason to think that they're going to come into our building and beat us. We got this under control, not realizing that they came to fight. And one of the guys who came to fight was Malik Monk. He played the way Jordan Poole was supposed to play. He brought them the energy that Jordan Poole was supposed to bring them. I am going to outplay you. I am going to play my game, and you're not going to stop me from playing my game. And it was obvious that happened. It was obvious that happened. Looney did his job, 100%. Looney did his job. I'm the dirty work guy. I clean glass. I thought the officiating was a little sketchy. I do. And when you're in the playoffs, there are things that you're going to miss. 100%. There are things that you're going to miss in the playoffs. But you have to get the obvious stuff. So on a jump ball, Looney elbowing Sabonis in the face, I got to call that. I have to call that. As an outside official, if I'm standing in the C, that's the guy directly across from the jump ball. I have to call that. And to miss that is a big deal. I thought Mike Brown was brilliant in his rotations. I thought he was very smart in not wavering from what got them there. We're going to continue to play fast. We're going to continue to attack the defense, which is what De'Aaron Fox did. He stayed on the attack. Stayed on the attack. And because he stayed on the attack and he kept the pressure on them defensively, he kept the pressure on them offensively, it wore on them. Now, this is a Golden State team who I personally thought that they rope-a-doped Sacramento in Game 5. They were a team that we kept taking their best shot and we just kept hanging around. And there's a difference in taking shots in the second round, in the third round, as opposed to when you get to the 7th round, you get to the 8th round, where your legs aren't as strong. And that overhand right isn't as forceful as it was in the 3rd round. But I'm taking those body blows and I'm giving them back. But I'm still fresh. Because I wasn't hitting you as hard. I was just hanging around. And I think that's what the Warriors did in Game 5. I think the Sacramento Kings did the opposite in Game 6. We're not going to fall into your hands. We're going to bring the fight to you, 100%. We'll bring the fight to you. And in the process of us bringing the fight to you, we're not going to over-exaggerate ourselves. We're going to still play our game. Murray didn't look like a rookie. He's been playing better as this series is going along. They've gotten great minutes from Lyles. They've gotten great minutes from him. I think the Warriors blew a golden opportunity to win this series last night. I had them in 6. And I thought there was no way that I thought that they would lose this game. But they did. And they got their hands full going home for Game 7. They got their hands full, man, because that crowd is going to be raucous. They're going to play the way they know how to play. They've already proven that they're not afraid of the moment. They've already proven that. And because they've proven that, we can't use that strategy anymore. We can't. So because we can't use that strategy anymore, now we have to play basketball the way we know how to play. Because Sacramento's not going to switch up the way they play. They're not going to switch up their style. Mike Brown is going to keep the pressure on them offensively, keep playing fast. De'Aaron Fox is going to keep going after Steph Curry. He gets whatever he wants, whenever he wants. I think Game 7 is going to be awesome. I'd be surprised if Sacramento lost Game 7. I think that they win Game 7. I do. I think that they win Game 7, and I think we're going to have a Los Angeles Lakers Sacramento Kings playoff series. I do. And I'm here for it, man. I remember those days of Sacramento in the Los Angeles Lakers in the early 2000s in the playoffs. Fantastic. You don't have to worry about travel neither, because Sacramento, either Sacramento or San Francisco, both of those are right up 101. So it's a 45-minute flight either way. It's not that big of a deal. I think the Lakers match up with Sacramento really well. I think that Anthony Davis could dominate that position with Sabonis, but I also think he could dominate that position with Looney too. So I'm really interested to see how Sacramento comes out, but I think that they win. I do. I think that they win that game, and I think that we're going to see the Sacramento Kings and the Los Angeles Lakers in the Western Conference semifinals, who, by the way, I thought before the season started, I thought that the Lakers were a semifinals team at best, but we're going to see what they're really made of. So this is the playoffs, guys. This is the playoffs, and I'm here for it. So you know where to find me. I'm here. But until then, take it light, but take it.